Okay, hello.
So, bit of a different setup for us today.
We've been snowed in.
Yeah.
Mm. Literally been snowed in. It's really bad in Bolton. There's quite a few inches of snow, so
Yeah, and I'm a chaos driver in the snow, so I try to avoid it because I once pulled my handbrake on. I think I probably told you. My car started to swerve and I pulled my handbrake on because I panicked
never told me.
and my car, yeah, my car just spun round. So I try to avoid driving in the snow where I can.
I'll get out again tomorrow if it's out. How's your Christmas been? Obviously, no one knows how our Christmases are, so what kind of Christmas did you have? Where did you go?
So I went back to Sunderland. I was really excited because I was going back for 2 weeks. So I couldn't wait to go back and spend time with everybody and just be off work. So got back. I had a really nice time. And then Christmas Day, really chilled morning. And then from that point, it was chaos. Um, my baby nephew ended up in hospital Christmas Day for 3 days. My mum came back from the hospital on Boxing Day after going up there so my sister-in-law could sleep. When she came home, she was ill. Then didn't get out of bed until 2 days ago. My dad then got unwell. Basically, everybody was unwell, and I just ended up doing like 20,000 steps a day to avoid getting ill.
Went out yourself.
I went out myself, went to Ultraflex in Durham. That was good. So yeah, no, I had a really nice time, did lots of baking and just very chilled Christmas for me, to be honest. Just 'cause like I said, lots of people up in the northeast were unwell. And then very quiet New Year. I didn't even see in the New Year. I was fast asleep.
I know. I did manage to stay awake. Yeah, we'd
And then sorry, go on.
go on.
As I say, and then I drove back New Year's Day, and as some people will probably be aware, I then had to have Ella at the vet's, and she ended up having emergency surgery. So she's now diving around the house in a cone. So it's been a bit of a chaotic start to the new year for me.
Can only get
But
better.
yeah, the only way is up.
Oh, it'll
How
get
about you?
better.
How was yours?
Really chilled. Our New Year was chilled. I did stay up till about 12:15, but we just went down to Ace's mum's, who lives in Prestatyn. So we just had like a family chilled night. His mum and his sister were actually away on holiday, so we didn't see them. We just went and watched a film with his brother and went to bed.
Yeah, it always looks so nice at Ace's mum's though.
Yeah, it was
It's
really
got a
nice.
nice view, hasn't it?
Prestatyn Hill is a really good view. We went there for
Yeah.
Christmas as well. My parents went down, so it was just super chilled, just really not doing much. Just went out for
Oh.
curry and then just yeah, chilled and all came home. My mum and dad went home as well the next day, but then me and Ace came back and went back then again to Prestatyn for New Year. But no exciting, traumatic like things happened.
To be honest,
Yeah.
I feel like we both really needed a chilled Christmas because obviously we haven't done a podcast for a couple of weeks. And if we're honest, the reason we didn't do one before Christmas, we were both so snowed under with
Snowed
life
under
and work.
again. Snowed under. We were so stressed in that little lead up before Christmas.
Oh, yeah, it was chaos, wasn't it? We both said we weren't in the right kind of space to then be talking to people about being positive. We had some stuff that we needed to settle down first before we could do that. So it is nice to be back and chatting.
Yeah, that week before Christmas was busy. I remember
Oh, it
I
was
spoke to you and you were exactly in the same boat. I think overwhelmed is the word, when you've got that much work on that
yeah.
you actually worry, how am I going to get through this in a day? And then you realise, I'm not going to get through this in a day.
Yeah, I'm
I
not.
have to just do
I'm
what I
not.
can do and then
Yeah.
see how much I can get done the next day. But yeah, it's difficult when it's that busy.
Yeah, it was complete firefighting for me before Christmas, just trying to get the things done that I knew had to be done before I left Manchester. Um, But yeah, so I do, despite the chaos since, I do feel refreshed and ready for 2025. It is going to be a good year. I'm putting it out there. It's going to be a good year.
Yeah, it's gonna
Once
be
my
a good year,
bruises heal from the dog's corn, it's going to be a good year.
and Ella will be fine. Well, we're gonna
Poor
talk
Ella.
about goal setting today anyway.
Yeah.
So our goal setting, personally, like what our goals are and how to set goals, that'll be like later. And we watched a bit of festive period chat, didn't we?
Yeah, but how it had been chaos.
Yeah, apart from our Christmas.
Yes. So we hope everybody had a nice Christmas, whatever they did. Because I think Christmas can be quite a difficult time for people, even if things are running smoothly. I think
Mm,
there are a lot of emotions around Christmas, a lot of expectations, and I think sometimes you can then go into the new year feeling quite exhausted. And there is always this big, it's new year, new me, and all of that kind of stuff. And people feeling like they've got to be really on the ball from day one. But that's not always realistic. And sometimes I think you just have to take that step back and think, okay, let's set my goals, and then when I'm able to fully focus on that, then off we go. But I think
mm.
just having that clear plan of what you want.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, I think, because it's expected, isn't it, that you set your goals and you have big goals and you know what you want to achieve in that year. And sometimes it's difficult because you think, I don't even know what I want to do this
Yeah.
year. And it's that pressure, isn't it? It's like when you want to grow up and everybody's asking you what you want to do as your job and you're thinking, I don't know. Like it's difficult sometimes to look into the future.
Yeah.
And that pressure can be quite overwhelming. So I think what people can then tend to do is set these really big goals that then don't always get achieved. So it means that then people feel deflated and demotivated because they've not achieved the goals that they set out. But I think it's really important to have maybe your bigger, longer term goals because it is good to aim high, but also
Yeah.
setting still optimistic, but really achievable targets that you can still meet throughout this year, especially, and things that
Mm.
you know that if you put the work in, for example, that you will be able to do. So that's a lot
Yeah.
more motivating than setting this really big, overwhelming goal that might
Yeah.
not be like something that happens overnight.
Yeah. And I think also for some people last year might have actually had a really tricky year and don't have any really big goals for this year. And that's okay if your goal is to just have a slightly better year than last year. You people see everybody setting really big goals that they want to achieve. And me and you kind of fall into that category. We have really big things that we want to do, but also it may just be that that's not for everybody. And sometimes it's just taking that first step to actually have a better year this year than last year, whether that's about your mindset, like how you can be more positive when working towards little things or getting through the day slightly easier, whatever that may be. But I just don't want people to go into 2025 and think, oh, I have to have these really big goals and these are the expectations and where they come from, really. Because I think, again, with social media, you get this highlight reel, don't you? Of everybody really striving for massive things, which is great if that is what you want to do. But I just think not putting that pressure on yourself to have that if that's not what's right for you moving into 2025.
Yeah, it's definitely overwhelming. And setting
Mm,
like short-term goals as well as the longer-term goals is going
yeah.
to help, like little mini milestones that you can
Yeah.
make sure that you're hitting along the way. Because a goal like that maybe is that you want to do something by mid to end 2025 is
Yeah.
still a long time away, like 6 to 12 months away. So it's really important to keep people motivated that people can still have those like mini milestones that
Yeah.
prove that you're definitely working towards the goal because it's really difficult right at the beginning of making a goal to kind of see that you are taking steps towards it. But literally every single day, even if it's something so small, those steps are still going to be working towards those goals. Um,
Yeah.
I've probably given you this analogy before, but you imagine that you're going from the UK to America and you get in that plane and it sets off in whatever X direction, if that pilot is saying just traveling in a straight line, but they're like this tiny, tiny little fraction like off target in another 12 hours by the time that they've got all the way across the world, they wouldn't even be in America. They'd probably, well, probably be at the bottom instead of the top. You know, like that tiny little fraction is so, so, so exponentially important when you
Yeah.
then extrapolate it against a long distance or a long time frame. So every
Yeah.
single little minute step that you make, like further forward before you've reached the end goal, it counts so much. And those
Yeah.
little daily actions that feel like nothing and insignificant are so important in the whole kind of project that you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, and I think all of those little steps add up, don't they? So all those mini goals that are in between to get into that big goal, they need to be celebrated because I think when you are really focused on that end goal because you want to achieve it, you do miss out on celebrating the progress that you are making towards that.
Yeah. So mini milestones
Mini
and
milestone.
yeah, kind of need to set my own to be honest because I've not even thought about my mini milestones. I've only thought I'm just talking about this now thinking I think I need to do this as well. I've got my long-term goals, but
Yeah,
but I think the thing with me, like I'm so disciplined, like I know that I'm even though I'm not seeing the progress towards them right now, I know that what I'm doing is literally like just keeping me on that target. So I know it's
yeah,
valid.
and I mean when we have these conversations, it helps us as well because we do sometimes do that and think, oh, actually, yeah, I need to do that. I mean, I have my goals, I know, but I haven't sat down, which I usually do, and set them out very specifically, which I will be doing. But again, things have run away with me at the beginning of January, so yeah, I haven't got things set out in the way that I usually would, but that will be coming very soon. And I think just on that point, when you are setting your goal, making sure that you are setting it in a positive kind of intention, really, so that you're moving towards something rather than away from something. Because I think when your thought process is, okay, well, I just don't want this, you will be motivated for a short period of time.
Mm,
Whereas if you are moving towards something and you're coming at that from a positive place, you will be more determined and focused to continue with that.
definitely more
And that came from
motivated.
the nine, the nine key aspects of successful people. I was reading something around that, and there was nine key steps, and that was one of them, making sure that you are coming from a positive place. So it's because you want to achieve that, not because you want to move away from something else.
That's really nice. Yeah,
Mm.
so it's actually because you're actively like wanting something, not just avoiding
Yeah,
something else that's worse.
yeah. So for me and you, Kelsey, slightly different goals this year, isn't it? Because I mean, me and you would usually have the goal of stepping on stage, but actually we are both having a full year off this year. So we're having a full off season together, which is very exciting.
I think I already knew this was going to be my season a long time ago anyway, so it's not a new goal. My competing goal is long term anyway, so that never
Yeah.
changed.
But
This year
have
is
you,
for growing. Last year was for health. Feel like I've ticked
yeah,
that box, and now my off season's really like full swing now.
yeah. But have you found you've had to kind of change or maybe think a bit more about what goals you wanted for this year, given that one of them isn't stepping on stage?
I did that many months ago, to be fair. So that
Mm.
wasn't like a New Year thing that I've just realised because I knew like many months last year that this year wasn't for competing. So I kind of set, in a way, I've set my 2025 goals a long time ago
Mm.
because that was already planned that far ahead. So I think more what I need to do now is more like a mini step in between.
Yeah, absolutely. Each mini milestone I mean, maybe we could do that together, and then we can keep each other accountable as well, because that's always a good thing. Seeing
Yeah,
as we both have an off season, we could sit together and look at actually what points we want to achieve in our off season, whether that be numbers on something or whatever that might look like. We can report back to people. I think that might be something fun to do together.
have we achieved our goals? Finding a
Yeah.
house, that's my next goal. Yeah,
Yeah, I would like to move as well, actually. Yeah,
this is a bombshell.
I know. I know. Certain things quiet, but
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
you did.
no, it's not to Sunderland. I know that has been mentioned, but
Chickens.
no, I would really like a garden for Ella, to be
That's where
honest, because I've got a
I want a garden.
yeah, yeah. So there's certain things I have my ideal house in my head, if I'm
In
honest.
Bolton.
It's not in Bolton. I'm actually not set on an area, but there's things that I need to do in this house first, just so that I can have it valued and stuff like that. But yeah, I would like to be somewhere with a garden for the dog because when I was in Sunderland, she's just obsessed with the garden. Um, so yeah, I think, I've been in this house for quite a while. I don't really want to sell it. So
Yeah, I feel
we'll look
like
at ways.
I understand that I've actually sold mine now. So
Yeah.
poor person who's bought it's just waiting for me and Ace to find a house, which obviously we just haven't yet.
Yeah.
We'll get one.
Mm. Yeah. Do you have any other goals that you would like to share? I mean, you don't have to. People's goals can be private to themselves, but just while we're talking about them, is there anything else that you would really like to do this year, apart from a skydive with me?
Um, Me and Ace were talking about getting a dog, but we haven't set that as like a goal. We just need to get the house first. So
Yeah.
one thing first, and then we'll
Yeah,
see.
fab.
Yeah, fitness goals, off season, growing, health,
Yeah.
maintaining that, and yeah, just making sure that I'm making the most of it because the year flies by and I know how fast it actually goes. So
Yeah.
not that long.
Yeah. The same for me. I have goals around career. I have plans for that within 2025. That's probably going to be my biggest goal this year, I think, working towards that. There are other things that I'm not going to share at this point, but yeah, I do have quite a few things that I would like to achieve this year. So now it's just sitting down and figuring out the plan towards that because I would like to have a very clear plan. Um, so yeah, that is my goal over the next, that's my mini goal over the next week
Just
to
to
very
make a
much sit
plan.
down. Yeah,
The goal
sit
is to
down and
make
set
the
out the
goal.
steps. Yeah, so I mean for me, what actually works better for me is looking at what's the first three steps that I need to take rather than looking at the end goal. So I know what the end goal is, but if I just thought about all of the end goals, I will get really overwhelmed.
Yeah,
Whereas if I think about, right, this is my career goal, what are the first three things that I can do, or what are the three things that I can do today that are going to take me one step further or
yeah.
one step closer? So that's something that works really well for me. So that is what I will be doing. And whether that's on a week by week or because I'd like to have things that this is what I'm going to do this week, this is what we'll have achieved by the end of the month and work that way.
Baby steps and then
Baby
measurable
steps.
so you know that you're moving towards the goal, which is what we were
Yeah.
saying at the beginning, not just being overwhelmed by these really big goals that aren't going to be something that happens overnight.
Yeah. And I think one of the other things that I had read when I was looking at those nine key aspects are around making sure that the goal is right for you. So I think sometimes people can be heavily influenced by what other people want for them,
Mhm.
but actually making sure that is this for you? And also, what do you have to sacrifice to get there? Because all big goals do take some level of sacrifice. And is the sacrifice worth it for you?
Yeah,
So, I found that really interesting when I was reading about that actually.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah, just
true.
making sure it's the right thing for you and not just because other people want it from you.
Yeah, differentiating. I think there's a difference, though, isn't there, between it's hard to actually separate like what makes you happy, what makes other people happy, because obviously
Yeah,
what makes the people that the closest to you so happy is also going to make you happy. And if they're not happy,
yeah,
you're not going to be happy. So it's like a line in between, isn't there? Like you're gonna want to please the closest people around you,
mm,
but also you have to bear in mind that that needs to be balanced really, really strongly with what you directly want for yourself.
yeah, yeah. Because I think it needs to be self-maintained because nobody else can do it for you. People can hold you accountable, but you are the person who needs to do the work to get towards your goal. And I think that's why for me, it's so important that you align with what your goal is and that it's something that you feel so passionate about. Because, say, for example, my goal this year is heavily around my career. Now, if I went into something because somebody else wanted us to, I wouldn't have kind of the fire in my belly that I have working towards what I want to because I wake up on a morning feeling really passionate about what I am moving towards. So I think yes, it is good that if other people are happy with what you're doing, but I do think it has to be something that you feel so passionate about and that you feel is your purpose, really.
And
Exciting
even
times.
actually understanding that there is a difference. And if you try
Yeah,
and think and write down, like, what actually is this that I want to do, it might
yeah.
be
And
different
why
than,
do I want to do it?
yeah,
And I think it is those questions, isn't it? What is it I want to do? Why do I want to do it? How am I going to do it? Where am I going to do it? So it's all of those questions that you need to sit down and ask yourself and have a clear plan.
yeah,
Because I think unless you know where you're going, you're not going to get there, are you?
no, absolutely not. And there's more than
Mm.
one way to get there, but you've got to make a plan.
Absolutely. And I think it's okay if you change your mind as well, just because we're on what day are we on? The 5th of January. You could start working towards a goal and in a month or two, think, actually, do you know what? This isn't making me happy, or this isn't what I want, or things could change in your life, and then your goal might change. And again, that's okay. Just because you set something now doesn't mean that you can't change your mind.
100%. But I think what people also can struggle with that, and I've been like this myself, is that you put that much time and effort into some sort of specific goal and project, and then maybe years or a year or however long it might be down the line, then it comes that things change. You realize that that might not align with who you are, or who you want to be, and then it's as if you feel like, have you given up that time that you've already spent working towards it with all that effort?
Yeah,
Because then if you pull out further down the line, you then have that kind of feeling that you've wasted your time. But that is not the case because honestly,
no.
I've been
There's
there
some cost
myself.
fallacy, isn't it?
You
I think that's
honestly would not be in the position that you are today if you had not maybe done all of the things that you've already done to get you into this current position. So I honestly do not feel that anything that you do in life, no matter how bad it might feel at the time, I think regret does not exist because at the present moment it was exactly what you wanted. And that's something that's important as well to kind of live in the present and be happy. So, and a lot
I
of
love
people, I
that.
think if you actually said to them, like, say, something that was really bad that happened in their life, if you could take that out, would you? Obviously, a lot of people would say, yeah, of course, straight away. But then if you then said, well, actually, if you took that out and then the plethora of events that happen thereafter, like, might mean that your life now would be completely different if you had to change that one thing in the past, and then people would actually think, hmm,
Mm.
might not take it out if that could make my life completely different.
Mo Gordon did a study on that actually. I think we've probably discussed that before, and
You spoke
the
about
initial
this
answer,
before, I remember it because
yeah,
we were like definitely having this conversation before.
yeah, absolutely. And I think again, when you are looking at that growth and fixed mindset, if you come from a fixed mindset, you will be thinking, oh, well, this is what I know, I'll just stick with that, I'll just do that. But actually, when you are moving into that growth mindset, it's actually, what have I learned from this and what can I take from that? Like you said, not regretting that you've spent so much time doing something, but actually, what have you learned from that? What skills have come from that that you can then transfer into whatever it is you are then doing?
Absolutely. Like people spend many years studying or doing a career that they then
Yeah.
decide isn't the way that they want to go.
Yeah.
I've been there myself, and you can't look back and think you've wasted your time because it's actually the complete opposite. Like you wouldn't be the person that you are or have the things that you have now probably if you changed everything. So
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry if you can hear dog paws because she's just come bounding into the room. So you might see a corn jump into the screen in a minute. Oh, yes, he should come. Oh,
oh God.
Gisela. Oh.
Is that a plastic cone or like a material?
No, so she last night absolutely savaged her plastic cone. I took her for a walk. It was the first time she was allowed out, and she has no spatial awareness.
Yeah, I saw the bit.
And yeah, completely destroyed it. So this was a material one that I had in the loft from her previous injuries. Mhm.
Accident prone.
Oh, she's a nightmare. Okay. Anything else that you want to talk about today, Kels? I'm just gonna have a look on. Okay, Ella.
You know what? No, not much has happened. There's been 5 days of the year so far, so I have nothing else to report of my own, my own things. Um, have you got anything planned in the next kind of week, month, like specifically yet?
Quiet month in January, like I say, just getting my life in order. Have a few things booked in just to kind of again move forward with one of my goals. I can't really say too much on that at the minute. So yeah, just the month of January for me, I actually don't put loads of pressure on myself, if I'm honest. I just use it to really kind of cement what I want for the next 11 months. The one thing I really am gonna do this year, I've got a dog hair in my mouth. Hello. I had such a lovely time in Sunderland. I really enjoyed spending time with my nephew, well, both my nephews, but my nephew who's nearly 4, who I was telling you is just crazy intelligent,
I need
crazy
to meet
intelligent.
him because
Yeah, you
I
would have a
hate
great
kids, but I
conversation
like
with
him.
him. You would love him because he loves space. So he would, and he can tell you everything about space. It's crazy. So, and he asked, well, me and him were talking about going to the planetarium when I go back. So my plan is I want to go back to the Northeast at least every other month, just to spend, even if it's just a weekend, just to spend a bit of time with my family and have some pancakes from Love Lily.
Yeah,
And just, yeah, just I'd like to spend a bit more time up there because I love being near the beach and it's just such a calm place for me. Um, so yeah, it's going to be a busy year. So I just want to make sure that I have that booked in because it is something that is really important to us to see my family, and especially the years when I prep, I don't get a chance to go back as much. So yeah, that is one goal. I'm going to plan some dates in to go back and see everybody.
I'll come with you.
I know. We need to go for pancakes.
Yeah,
And hopefully a bit more traveling this year as well. A
yeah,
few more like long weekends in places and yeah, just want to really live this year.
yeah. Off season life.
Off season live.
Yeah. Well, I know we've got loads of stuff planned. We've undividedly as planned photo shoot. Can't say too much, but I think we're going to be going away like into like a lodge, staying away for a weekend later in the year with all the
Excellent.
girls. That'd be good.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
That's all
It's
getting
such a nice
planned.
group.
I know that's all getting planned now, so that'll be really fun. Can't wait. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that's gonna be so exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have some goals that are the same from last year, just continuing with those things that we love and also some new and exciting ones that hopefully we can keep everybody up to speed with as we go.
Yeah. So it would be good as well if we could hear like other people's goals, like
Yes.
message us what you have got planned for 2025.
Yeah, we'd love to hear that. And we know Graham's going to be watching. So, Graham,
We want to know the
when we
goals.
see you, we want to know the goal.
So yeah, comment
Exciting.
in the I can't see you comment on the Spotify, can you? But yeah, let us
Yeah.
know.
And we will be doing them every other week now that we're back and the chaos has settled. So,
We shall plan. Yeah.
yeah. And we might even do it this week because this is quite easy to do actually, wasn't it? From me from
Yeah.
my home, you from yours. So there'll probably be a mix over the year. But again, if people tell us what they find better,
Yeah, that'd be good.
then we can, yeah,
Ah, anything
that's
else
lying
you
down
wanted
that
to
home.
cover?
No, I think that's everything. Nice little intro into the year.
Yeah. First one of many more in 2025.
Yeah. And we like to set a little task for people.
I've left the thing downstairs.
This thing.
The,
Will you please go get it?
it's a wrap. I can't go and get it.
Oh,
We'll bring it on the
no, we
next
will.
one.
Yeah, we will. But people's task for the next 2 weeks, if you haven't already,
Yeah.
set your goals. Whether that's your big goals, little goals, get something down on
All of
paper
them.
and let us know.
Yeah. Fab.
Fab.
See you in a few weeks.
And will
That's
I
all.
see, will I see you Tuesday?
Yeah.
Fabulous. All right.